Hi, my topic is theories of evolution. Evolution refers to the change in the heritable characteristics of organisms over successive generations. And these characters are the expressions of gene that pass from parent to offspring during their reproduction. Then evolution is the theory that postulating various type of plants, animals and other living organisms on earth have their origin in other pre-existing forms, and the distinguishable difference between the pre-existing and the present form is due to the modifications in the successive generations. Then evolution relies on genetic variation in a population which affect the physical characteristics of organisms. Then some of these characteristics may give the individual an advantage over other individual, which they can pass on to their offsprings also. There are four major theories of evolution, and they are Lamarck's theory of inheritance of acquired characteristics, Darwin's theory of natural selection, Rees mutation theory, modern synthesis theory of evolution. Now we can discuss all these theories in detail. The first one is Lamarckism, or Lamarck's theory of inheritance of acquired characters. It is proposed by Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck, who is a French naturalist. And according to Lamarck, changes in the structure or function of any organ occur during the lifetime of an individual in response to changes in the environment are inherited by the offsprings and keep on adding over a period of time. And these changes lead to the origin of new species. That is, when environmental conditions are changed, there occur a change in the structure or function of any organ in an organism. And this changes inherited to the offspring, and it keep on adding over time, and these changes lead to the origin of new species. Then Lamarck's postulates. The first one is new needs. When the environmental conditions were changed, that creates a new needs for the organism, and it helps them to adapt adapt better to the changed environment. And these lead to change in the habits or behavior of the organisms also. Then acquisition of new characters or organs. That is, the organism acquired characters or organs in two ways. The first one is by use and disuse of organs. That is, according to Lamarck, when we are continuously using an organ, it becomes more functional and efficient. And when we are disusing, we are not using an organ continuously, it cause gradual reduction in size and disappearance of that organ. An example is vestigial organs. Then the second way is effect of environment. That is the environmental changes, that is change in temperature, light, medium, food, etc. influence the functioning and behavior of the organism. When they change, they lead to the development of new characters in organisms. These are the two ways by which new characters or organs are acquired to the organisms. And inheritance of acquired characters. These these changed characteristics are transferred to their offsprings during their reproduction. Then, thus, in every generation, new characters are added, and the species get modified to a new one. Then, evidences in favor of Lamarckism. The major evidence favoring Lamarckism is that evolution of long neck in giraffe. According to Lamarck, giraffe evolved from deer-like ancestors, and they had short neck and forelimbs, and they were grazed on grass. But when the climatic conditions were changed, the rich vegetation changed to a few trees, and these leaves of trees were the only source of food for these ancestors. So they need to stretch their neck to obtain the leaves from the trees. So the gradual stretching lead to the increasing length of the neck and forelimbs of these organisms, and it is transmitted to the next generation, and thus giraffe have long neck and forelimbs. This is the most common example for the evidence of Lamarckism. Then the second is evolution of feet of modern horse. That is, the horse developed the power of fast running to protect themselves from enemies. So gradually there was lengthening of limbs. Then evolution of snakes. According to Lamarck, the snake was evolved from lizard-like lizard-like organisms. They lived in jungles, and to protect themselves from enemies, they started creeping through the flow through the vegetation. So they stretched their body and it become elongated, and there was no use of the limbs, so it gradually disappeared. And then webbed feet in aquatic birds. That is, the ancestors of aquatic birds was terrestrial ancestors, and they developed their web between the toes for wading in the water. Then this is the pictorial representation of the elongated neck in giraffe, and it transferred to the offsprings. Then this is the ancestral form of snake and the webbed feet in aquatic birds. Then criticism of Lamarckism. The tendency to increase in size can be seen in many forms. However, evolution also shows reduction in size. That is, for example, in angiosperms, the trees are primitive forms, whereas shrubs, grasses, herbs, they were evolved later and they are more advanced than trees. Then the second one is inheritance of acquired characters. It is against inheritance of acquired characters. For example, if a parent or an organism is blind, deaf, or lame before producing the offspring, they do not produce a blind, deaf, or lame offspring. And the mutilations and the wounds of parents do not appear in the offsprings. So it's a major criticism against Lamarckism. And the third is based on the experiment performed by August Weismann, that he cut off the tails of the rats about 80 generations, but there was no any offspring that do not have a tail. Then theory of germplasm. The theory of continuity of germplasm proposed by Weismann and Mendel's law of inheritance were hard to blow the Lamarck's theory of inheritance. According to germplasm theory, each organism has two types of cell. The first one is germ cell, and which pass their hereditary material to the next generation. And the second one is somatic cells, which form the body, but it do not pass their hereditary material to their offsprings. Then the second theory is Darwinism or Darwin's theory of natural selection. It is proposed by Charles Robert Darwin, who is known as the father of evolution, who is an English naturalist. And according to Darwin, evolution is the process by which organisms change over time as a result of changes in heritable physical or behavioral traits. And he is considered as the father of evolution, and his work Origin of Species is considered as the foundation of evolutionary biology. Then Darwin's postulates. First one is overproduction. All living beings have an inherent tendency to produce offsprings of their own kind in a large number. And the number of their offsprings is much more than that can be supported by a particular environment, and that can be possibly survived. Then example is paramecium. It produces a large amount of offsprings. Then there is a limited food and space. The second postulate is based on this. Then the space in the universe is constant, and the ultimate source of food and plants and animals are also constant. But so the carrying capacity of the environment does not allow the population to grow indefinitely. Okay, there is a limit for that. Then struggle for existence. So there is limited food and space, but overproduction takes place. So there occurred struggle for existence. That is, according to Darwin, individuals multiply in a geometric ratio, and there is food and space availability is constant. So there occurred an intense competition between the organism. That is a threefold struggle. That is, there are three types of struggle. The first one is intraspecific struggle, interspecific struggle and with the struggle with the environment. That is, the first one is intraspecific struggle. That is between the individuals of the same species, and it is the toughest struggle ever, because the needs of the all organism of the same species will be the same, so their struggle or the competition will be tough. Then the second is interspecific, that is the struggle between individuals of different species, and struggle with the environment, that is the struggle with struggle of living beings with the changes in the environment, that is heat and cold, drought, flood, and environmental changes in the environmental conditions. Struggle against the changes in environmental conditions. Then variations. The struggle for existence result in competition among the organisms. Thus, the organism adapt and differ from each other in shape, size, and behavior, etc. Then natural selection and survival of the fittest, most important. That is, according to Darwin, nature selects only those individuals which are more favorable, which with more favorable variations and are best adapted to the environment, and the less fit and unfit organism left out by selection. That is, the sorting out takes place there, and it is known as natural selection by Darwin, and survival of the fittest by Wallace. That is, Darwin explained evolution of long neck. This is the explanation of Darwin against the Lamarck's theory. That is, Darwin explained evolution of long neck of modern giraffe by stating the existence of long-necked and short-necked giraffe in the ancestral population. After the changes in the climate resulting in presence of trees and no grasslands, the longer-necked giraffe with longer forelimbs were more successful in reaching sockets of trees for feeding. That is, there were both short-necked and, according to Darwin, there were short-necked and long-necked giraffe. And when the climatic conditions changed, the long-necked giraffe with long forelimbs, long neck, they can get the food from the trees. They survived and the other dead. Therefore, the natural selection favored longer-necked progeny generation after generation. Then this is the pictorial representation. This is these two are long neck and this is short neck. They survive and other dead. Then inheritance of useful variations. The individuals which survive the struggle for existence transmit their useful variation to the offspring, which will also prove to be fit. Thus, offsprings of selected individuals are born fit to the environment. Then formation of origin of new species. Darwin suggested the appearance of new variations in every generation. These variations keep on accumulating after a number of generations, and the organism become different. It becomes a different organism, that is a new species formed. Origin of new species by gradual modification of older one is known as speciation. This is the important point by Darwin. Then evidence in support of Darwinism. First one is artificial selection. By controlled breeding and selection for several generations, many new varieties of plants and new species, races or breeds of domestic animals have been developed. For example, dogs, horses, pigeons have been developed by man by artificial selection. So there is a close parallelism between natural selection as well as artificial selection. Then mimicry and protective coloration. They are seen in certain animals, and that can be achieved only by gradual changes occurring side by side, both in model and mimic occupying the same area. Then correlation between position of nectarines in flowers and length of proboscis in pollinating insects. This relation between two different organisms evolved gradually and can be explained by natural selection. Then criticism of Darwinism. Darwin was not clear about the source of variation and also the mechanism of natural selection. So it is a major drawback of Darwin's theory. Then inheritance of small variations. That is, Darwin stated that small variations formed the raw materials for evolution. However, this can happen in only fully functional organs. That is, the wings of birds is in initial stage when it is not of any advantage to organism could be explained. That is, the wing of birds, the small wing of birds that have no any advantage. It is a it transferred to the next generation. He could not explain it. Then existence of vestigial organs. According to Darwin, only useful organisms are selected and inherited. But vestigial organs are they are functionless actually. They are not continuously used. So the presence of vestigial organs that are functionless could not be explained by Darwin. Then specialization. Over specialization of some structures like antlers and tusk of elephant become a hindrance to these organisms. But this fact that these structures are a hindrance to the organism being inherited could not be explained. These organs were hindrance for them, but it transferred to the next generation. So it cannot be explained by Darwin. Then Darwin explained the survival of the fittest and not the arrival of the fittest. Then the third one is Rees mutation theory. It is proposed by Hugo de Rees, who's a Dutch botanist. Then according to Rees, a new species appear by sudden heritable changes. There occur sudden heritable changes. Then he observed a different type of primrose, and based on his observation, he postulated the mutation theory. And his postulates are new species appear by sudden changes called mutations, and all organisms have tendency to mutate. Then individuals showing mutations are called as mutants, and mutations are indeterminate and can be useful or harmful. The mutations may be useful or harmful. Then mutations occur in different members of the same species, and it can appear again and again, generations after generation. Then evidence in favor of Rees mutation theory are appearance of new variety from normal parents. That is due to the sudden changes. That is the sudden mutations. There occurred appearance of new variety or species from normal parents. That is, examples are short-legged Anpan sheep, hornless Hereford cattle, hairless cats and dogs, and seedless variety of banana. Then evidence against mutation theory, that he could not explain the mimicry, that is coevolution. Then rate of mutation is low. Actually, the rate of mutation is low, but he says that it occurred at a sudden. Then evolution is gradual, but mutation is abrupt. Then significance of mutation theory. Mutations are important for evolution. They introduce variations that are then selected by nature. Then mutation provide the raw materials on which natural selection takes place. Then the fourth theory is Neo-Darwinism, which is also known as modern synthetic theory. And it is an integration of Charles Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection and Gregor Mendel's theory of genetics as a basis of biological inheritance, and also mathematical population genetics. And the major person behind development of the modern synthesis theory is Thomas Hunt Morgan. And the postulates are Neo-Darwin is a modification of the original theory of Darwin, and it to remove its shortcomings. Then instead of continuous variations, mutations are believed to develop to help new species, to develop new species. Then variations accumulate in the gene pool and not in the individuals. Then Neo-Darwinism incorporates isolation as the essential component of evolution. Then the theory can explain the occurrence of unchanged forms over millions of years. Then normally only those modifications are transferred to the next generation which influence germ cells, or the somatic cells give rise to germ cells. Then as we conclude, in biology, evolution is the change in the characteristics of a species over several generations and relies on the process of natural selection. And different theories were proposed by many scientists about the evolution of organisms, but all these theories have both supporting evidences as well as evidences against them. So all these theories of evolution is based on the key idea that all the species are related and largely changes over time. Then these are the references. Thank you.